Okay, I'm trying something new. I have notes, so bear with me. Let's see if that works. What does it really mean to love ourselves? Now, that sentence really, I mean, it's all over the place, right? We're hearing it all the time, and the quotes on the internet and everything is just too much. Love yourself, and the answer to everything is love yourself. How much does that piss you off? Because it really, really used to annoy me to no end, especially when it's given to an answer of something that you really are wanting to find or understand or feel. And everybody around, everywhere is going to just tell you, oh, love yourself more, it's all good. And yet, when you do the work and you actually get yourself through a lot of different challenges and you actually really start deciphering the self-actualization and coming into your power, like again, a lot of sentences, right, that are being used so much, and if you don't know really what they mean, they can be very, very frustrating. So I was called yesterday to make a little video just mentioning a few of the things of what it actually means now that I have experienced it over and over again, and I continue to discover more of what it means, but I'm just going to give you a few of the things that I have discovered, and also why are we looking to love ourselves aside from everybody just telling us that that's the solution to all of our problems, right? Well, it actually is, because first of all of the things that you are suffering from and that you are wanting at the moment, there's two reasons why that I am aware of at the moment. One is, what all we're actually looking for is not to have the relationship or the money or the car or the nice job or the kids who listen and don't throw things on the ceiling. I don't know. Whatever it is that you want desperately at the moment. It isn't about having it. It is about how it's going to make us feel. And so in a way, it's really a trick of the mind, to trick the heart into, oh, okay, now I have it, and now I get to feel the emotions associated with having it. I authorize myself to feel them. So this is an interesting trick, right, of the mind, because it is really about authorizing yourself to be in a certain state. It's pretty silly when you think about it. Why can't I just authorize myself now? A way that I discovered that for myself was, when you go through something and you're pissed off at someone, or you're really sad, or someone broke your heart, whatever it is, you know from previous experiences that that's most likely 100,000% going to go away, unless you make an effort to keep it in your life, which would be silly, but eventually that's going to get resolved. You're either going to find the answers, or you're going to get over it, or you're going to move on with your life one way or another. You're going to heal, etc. So now that we actually know that time doesn't exist, really it's a choice when you think about it of how long that time is in between how I feel right now and how I know that I'm going to feel eventually when I work through this. I can make the choice to collapse that time, and as best I can to really just feel that, whatever I'm going to feel in a week, because I'm aware that that's still me. That me in a week isn't going to be a different me than me now. Therefore, what? I'm just giving myself a week of this wonderful flavor of feeling like crap because what? Choose to do that. So that kind of line of thinking got me to realize that it is really just about the feeling, and when we authorize ourselves to feel it. Why we authorize ourselves, obviously, societal, internal, parental, all the other filters that we have built in. So if all that matters is how we are going to feel when we finally authorize ourselves to feel the thing that we're looking to feel, you start realizing it's quite arbitrary. Not to diminish the importance of the events, but to step away from them and realize they really are just either triggers or permission slips, right? For us to just achieve a state of certain feeling that we could technically just achieve at will. That is one of the reasons why we want to love ourselves, is because achieving that state is within our grasp fully. That's one of the things that it means. The other one is that because of how, apparently, through testing, and not just because everybody else says it, and people like Abraham Hicks and a lot of other beings of higher dimensions that know more than us, supposedly, or at least have, presumably, again, longer experience at this, or a higher perspective, whatever it might be. But we hear from a lot of sources that, and we test it and it works, the law of attraction, right? So you're putting a certain sonar output of a vibration, and it bounces off creation, comes right back at you. That's your second biggest motivator for achieving the emotion before the manifestation, which would be loving yourself. So now on to, what does it actually really mean, that sentence that we are sick and tired of hearing. One of the things is stop coping. What does that mean? Stop coping with life. We have developed our personalities as coping mechanisms to a lot of things that we felt were not pleasant. So as children, we just developed, oh, okay, if I speak the truth in a certain social situation, I'm going to be made fun of, let's say in school or whatever, right? So your personality, this is like a whole different topic, so I'm not going to actually dive into that, but we are built in a way that we are giant walking coping mechanisms. I'm getting a little distracted because I'm being pulled in the direction of that thought and of all of the different examples in there, but really it's a different topic, so I'm not going to go there. Instead, we can sit and not cope, and just sit with the shadow. And that also is another process. It's called shadow work, which is one of my favorite things to do in order to get closer to yourself. Because most of the time we use any kind of distraction, including our personality, and our friends, and our family, and social media, and the TV, and work, and even getting angry, emotions. We use whatever we can to try and spend as little time as possible just with ourselves, just being home, without music even, contemplating. What does the word contemplating mean? Just turning inward and saying, hi, who's there? Do you remember me? We used to play. I remember a time when we used to play when we were little. We used to spend lots of time together, bouncing off ideas off each other, inventing friends that nobody else could see, whole worlds. We used to travel places, Narnia, right? Hopefully, we all can remember that. And depending on the stage of where you are at this loving yourself, you'll recognize how much of that you already do. So that's one way of getting to love yourself. I'm really sorry, I have something that's really itching me here. And that's one of the things that it means. Just actually spend time with yourself the way you would spend time with your best friend. Somebody you really, really want to spend time with. And a lot of people don't do that. I used to not do that for many, many years. Until I was so sick and disconnected from everything in myself, and I was just freaking out, and anxiety was building up to being high, and I was, drinking either a bottle of wine or a 6-pack of beer or whatever I could get my hands on at the end of the day, and just coping, right? I was coping any way I could, but really coping just escalates things. So, don't cope. Stop coping. Stop fighting escapes and start sitting. It's going to be painful at first, of course, and that's a whole other topic again. of how to start approaching yourself gently from far away if you are in that place at the moment. That abandoned being inside of you is sitting there waiting for you to remember that you guys used to be friends. You know, and when I first reconnected with mine, I cried and cried and cried, and I apologized, and I felt so bad, and she was so happy to have me back. You know, she wasn't angry. She was a little sad that I had sort of put her away like a doll in a corner of an old closet covered with dust and everything, and I began rebuilding our relationship, and it was sad. But she's so nice and so gratifying. So from there, you get to start enjoying more and more and more. Look around. Look around at the different things that you have developed inside of you. Look around your own castle, your own rooms that you haven't visited in a really long time. Play again. You know, play with her. Play with ideas. Play with emotions. Like musical instruments, you know, just see like, ooh, how do I feel about that? Ooh, maybe a little too much. I don't really like that. Oh, I don't really like noise. Why did I think? And I've had so many people, right, and so many of my clients and my friends and myself starting to report once we start our process, like starting to report on things that will shock you. Like, I thought I liked parties. Well, it turns out I really don't like parties. I don't think I ever liked parties. You know, that was just a coping mechanism I was using, not to feel this way and that, not to feel left out, not to feel lonely. And you just start discovering incredible things about yourself if you stick with this process. And it's not something to do like in one day or whatever. It's more of a commitment that you'll make for the rest of your life, hopefully, that will just be like, I'm going to spend more respectful time with this person who I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. So that's your motivation, really, because no one's ever going to be as devoted a friend and as permanent of a presence in your experience of this life until the millisecond that you float off of it, out of this experience. No one's going to be there every single millisecond of that time. So wow, you know, think about that. And we don't know that person. It's pretty crazy. I'm going to start playing with that pen now because even I can see it and it annoys me. Sorry. So I said I was going to stop. From there, you can take it anywhere you want. This is a relationship. So just saying like, oh, love yourself more, is pretty annoying. But understanding that what it means is, oh, spend some more time. Go on more dates. Go on more dates with that person. To be honest, if what you discover is awful and you absolutely can't stand that person, guess what? Tough. Because you're still stuck. So now you have a lot of work to do. You really do. Imagine all the energy that you're putting into making other people like you, but really they don't matter. I mean, honestly, they don't. At the end of the day, because they get to make their own choices, right? So they can abandon you, and they can change their mind about how they feel about you today or another day. So now, you've put all this effort into developing outside relationships. And I'm not saying like become a hermit and tell everybody to back off and leave you alone. You can do that, and you probably will in the journey of building your own relationship. You probably will let go and say goodbye to a lot of external relationships, and then that will actually leave room for better ones, but that's again a different topic. The goal isn't to reject all of society and what you have been doing outside, but just to understand that maybe that priority wasn't yielding the quality results that you were actually hoping for, that we're all hoping for, right? So eventually you'll get to the part where you realize that a lot of the coping mechanisms that we use are for safety, not just for fun, like the partying and the socializing and things like that, but then you get deeper, and now you're getting to the part of how your parents raised you, what you believe, what you don't believe, your boundaries, your actual needs, all giant topics in the self-developing world. That's what it means to love yourself. All of that. Going through all of these steps, it can be daunting. It probably sounds like a lot of work right now if you've not begun the journey of loving yourself. I'm just going to keep saying it so that both you and I can change the connotation with which we hear that sentence, because it's a good thing. You'll realize that, again, because you are the only constant in your own life, a lot of tough truths. There are things you genuinely don't like about yourself. There are things you genuinely are terrified of yourself. You're gonna have to put your big girl pants on. That doesn't sound good. It's so much nicer to go get drunk, maybe, if that's the coping mechanism you use. Get high. I know a lot of my friends used that in the past, and I just used social contact. I was just a social butterfly to save myself from anything that I needed saving from. Self-judgment. You're going to discover so many things in there. I equate it to opening the cesspool, right? When you decide, hopefully you won't wait for a big disease or a giant car breakup or some kind of like catastrophe in your life to decide to start loving yourself. Well, most of us do. Wait for a pretty terrible, grim outlook on the outside to start freaking out and trying to figure out what else to do. But it's like the first time you make that decision and your commitment is solid, it's like opening your cesspool for the first time. And that's when you gotta brace yourself, because a lot of crap is gonna come out flying right at you. I know we all like to think that, oh, really, I don't have that much crap. Evidence to the contrary from all people who have gone down that journey, we do. We really do. So anyway, I'm getting off track. Just wanted to kind of make a point of what loving yourself really actually means. Is doing the work with yourself as your best friend, befriending yourself. And then, once you forgive yourself and you start to understand a little bit more about yourself and where your motivations are coming from, you start realizing that you have choices. You start realizing that you get to change things. And you start learning, of course, there's so much learning on this journey. How do I change things? How do I heal things? How do I even cope? Because, coping will have to come back into the picture at some point, because some of the things you're going to find out about your best friend that you're stuck with. Are going to require some coping. Hopefully you won't stop at coping though. You can cope for a little bit and then go for the root of the problem. At least that's really what I prefer to do, and I certainly encourage all of my clients to do that. Don't stop at coping. Coping is just a patch, right? Coping just means you're going to have to keep coping. Just like people manage a disease. Don't manage your diseases. Don't be harsh on yourself, of course. I should already be over this, I should have figured this out. It's one of the very common ones when we're type A personality and OCD and perfectionists. We give ourselves a really, really hard time about how quickly we should be achieving this self-love thing. I love it. Oh, we're such assholes to ourselves most of the time. So that's where self-parenting is going to come into. You're going to basically learn how to be a really, really good parent. Through this, you're going to start thinking and observing Is this really the best way to treat myself? Is this really, yeah, is this how I would like to raise my child? Is this how I would like to see even the children of the world be treated? That's how you're going to start changing how you treat yourself as well. And let's see. Yeah, you'll obviously make changes. You'll make lots of changes during that period. And that's okay, because those changes are going to allow you to like yourself more. And you're going to start getting to the love part, of actually being excited and in adoration and in respect of this person that you're living with, your permanent roommate. You're going to start being proud of yourself, especially as you achieve these different levels of self-actualization, self-realization, and self-healing, and you start making the tweaks of like, oh, I don't like this. I'm going to actually stand up for myself, and I'm going to not do whatever behavior anymore. And now you feel proud and you feel grateful because you just self-parented. You just self-authorized. You authorized yourself to stand up and say, oh wow, wait a minute world, you don't live in here. You don't really get to arrange the furniture in here. I do. And I like the couch over there, in the middle of the living room, crooked, standing up on its side. That's how I like it, for now. And I'm going to authorize myself to have it that way. And then you're like so proud that you go inside your house and it's your house. It can look like Alice in Wonderland all upside down, but it's your house. If you feel comfortable in it, now you're getting to those feelings that you were like looking for in the beginning, right? When people started telling you originally you gotta love yourself more, and you're getting all pissed off. Are you understanding now? You get to come home to yourself and go, oh, this is awesome. I love it in here. And then you get to be like those assholes who you were watching before going, I'm so happy with myself. I love this and I love that. And there's confidence beaming out of you. And next thing you know, because the universe responds to the music that you're playing, that's coming out of your speaker, now you look around and you're attracting these people who are appreciating the things that you have started appreciating about yourself all of a sudden. And now we are in that place where we're understanding what this sentence of just love yourself actually meant this whole time. And then you get to embellish on it however you want. Let's see some of the things that I found out on my way. Boundaries, we said, authorizing yourself, I said that. Why? I said because as you vibrate that way, you're actually getting to attract those experiences. So now it's not really just you having a little Narnia moment. It's also like Narnia all around you. People are liking you now. I mean, it's like a whole different world. You get to fall in love with yourself. And it's all just giving yourself that time to observe. Look inside your own eyes in the mirror. There's so many different methods. To clean up your cesspool, start redecorating your house, make the repairs that you need in your house, start falling in love with your house. And if there's something you don't like about your house, go ahead and just work on it. Not with hate, not with resentment, not with irritation, not with impatience. With the exact opposite of all of that. Love. So annoying. Just love yourself more. I love it. It really is fun. And momentum does get built into that, and habits of thought and behavior get built into that. And if you've gone vegan or vegetarian in the past, or if you've gone from an unhealthy lifestyle to a healthy lifestyle, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know how it goes up and down a little bit. You know how long it takes to build up these new habits. You know that you're going to lose faith in yourself somewhere in the process. You know that you might need a coach, for example. It just depends on your personality. You know that you're going to be hard on yourself. You know the process. If you've gone to the gym, you know how scary it is to walk in the first time and go, what the hell are all these instruments for? I don't know what to do with this. And then if you're stuck with it, you know that one day you walk in there like you own the place, right? And you know which ones you prefer to use, and you know which ones gives you better results, right? You know that eventually you're gonna completely not use a bunch of them. And all the clothes and the fitness tools that you buy, you're gonna just end up using 2 of them. And that's who you are. And that's loving yourself, because you're gonna really get to play and experiment. And you're gonna fall, and you're gonna bruise yourself, and all this other stuff, right? And you're gonna use a whole bunch of different tools that you can ask me, definitely, if you want. Like, I like shadow work, shadow hunting. I like authorizing myself gratitude lists, of course, and you've heard, I'm sure, of all of these. There's so many more. There's magnet work. There's a endless amount of healing methods that you can try them all and see which one works for you. You know, on the physical, emotional, spiritual, and mental personalities, bodies, auras, whatever you want to call it, right? To love yourself more. Seriously, I'm gonna make that sentence like our favorite new sentence. And then to start falling in love. I don't know where you are on the scale, but can you picture the day when you can't wait to wake up like a child, going to Walt Disney or to summer camp or whatever excited, or just going outside to play with butterflies? Whatever really excited you. That feeling of waking up and you cannot wait to begin the day inside the life of this new person that you love so much. Because you've gotten to know her or him, and you've spent the time to learn how to be really good friends with that person. Yeah, maybe a long, long time ago, at first you felt that you were chained, a prisoner, inside a tiny little cell forever. You know, maybe that was your outlook. I don't know. I wasn't there, personally. I had just forgotten my girl. I had just put her aside like an old doll and just forgotten to spend time. That's where I was when I re-began the journey to loving myself. So, overall, I don't really like that sentence. I think it does encompass it in a very simple, very compact way. And so I think that's why it's been used and used and used so much. But it's annoying. I agree. And so that's why I wanted to talk a lot more about what's inside that simple sentence of falling in love with yourself again. And having fun. Having fun. I think if you boil down most of the things that you want in your life and that you chase in your life, it's really about just having fun. I mean, on your deathbed, what are you gonna really say to yourself? I want to die thinking the following: fuck yes. That was awesome. That was awesome. Let's do it again. That's what I want to think. Am I living my utmost fuck yeah, this is awesome every day? Hell no. No, I'm not. I'm not trying to lie about that at all. I want everybody to know that we're all like that. But that's not what this video is about. This was just to sort of like give a bunch of examples of what loving yourself feels like. So, and ask me, you know, I'll make videos, of course, and I have some others about all the different aspects of that. What I just said and a bunch of other stuff as well. But there's nothing better than interaction, which is why actually I'm getting off topic, as I love to do, but I'm going to switch, I think, to live feeds, because in this thing, it's not about I know better than you, not at all. I still have a little bit of resistance personally. I'm a human being, right? So I have my own resistance and my own things that I'm working through in order to finally respond to the parts of myself that I've discovered that I really like and respect. And that's why I'm doing this, because I'm actually in the process of training myself to authorize myself in different areas that I'm discovering really matter to me. And I think moving forward to live videos and live interaction is the key. Talk to you soon. Love yourself today. I love sounding annoying sometimes. It's like taking something that really used to boggle my mind and flipping it upside down and making an enjoyment out of it. That's what I wanted to achieve with this video, and I think we have, because I can actually feel you watching and changing throughout.